Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
One thing that the furry fandom is very concerned about right now is public health. Anyone who's currently planning on attending a furry convention is going to have to deal with a whole slew of different mandates and requirements in the name of public health. Do you have a respiratory condition that makes it difficult to breathe in a mask? Are you allergic to one of the ingredients in the vaccine? Well then, tough shit, too bad for you, my public health. And there's one recent event in particular that reveals just how much it is that furries are concerned about public health. Which brings us to BLFC 2021. For those of you who aren't aware, BLFC is short for Biggest Little Fur Con. It takes place in the city of Reno, Nevada, which is often referred to as the biggest little city, hence the name of the con. And sometime Saturday night, a Twitter user who goes by MandWolfie announced in a tweet that he would be hosting a room party. Yeah, room parties are not an uncommon thing at conventions. You know, after the convention is over, everyone would all meet up in a hotel room somewhere and continue the festivities late into the night. And sometimes some real crazy shit can go down at these room parties. Which brings us to the topic of today's video. So, room parties nowadays work a bit differently than they used to back in the early days of conventions. Back in the days before the widespread availability of social media and other forms of mass communication, you used to have to actually know somebody or be involved with a particular social group in order to get invited to a room party. Nowadays, whenever people host room parties, they just announce it on Twitter, and basically whoever wants to show up can show up. So, Saturday night at the convention, MandWolfie announces on Twitter that he is in fact hosting this room party, and at this room party, he plans on ordering some pizza because, you know, what's a party without some snacks, right? And you see, they weren't simply planning on eating this pizza. Oh, no. They had some very special plans with this pizza. Mutuals, I have an important question. Do you want to come on my pizza party at BLFC?
How about no?
If so, please reply here so I can get a head count. All attending guests get free pizza and drinks, and it is optional if you want to come on my pizza, with or without my help. And I do appreciate how he does in fact specify that it is in fact optional to ejaculate on this pizza. You don't have to, you can just enjoy it like a normal person. You're not obligated to come on this pizza, but you can if you want to. But he does in fact make it clear that he intends to ejaculate on this pizza. It's happening, whether or not you participate. And he does include a poll at the bottom of the tweet, so of course, if you see this tweet and plan on participating in this party, you can vote whether you would like to simply enjoy this pizza like a normal person, or if you would like to join him in ejaculating on the pizza. And of course, it looks like a majority of people did opt to ejaculate on the pizza. I also like how he uses alarm emojis at the top of the tweet. Like, it's super urgent and important that everyone knows about this guy's plan to come on this pizza. So sure enough, this guy's tweet spreads around, people learn about the party, and of course 19 people in total whip out their penises and beat off onto the pizza. I'm not sure how many people ended up attending this party in total, but at least 19 people have been confirmed to have actually ejaculated onto the pizza. Now look, it is kind of sick and weird that people would do this, but I was never really one to judge people for like kinks and fetishes. Lord knows I'm into some weird shit. I think most people have a fetish or two in the closet, a weird kind of thing that they're into. And as long as people keep it to themselves, I usually don't have a problem with it. Well, therein lies the problem. These people decided not to keep it to themselves. They uploaded pictures of this stuff all over social media. So, not only did these people refuse to keep it to themselves by sharing on social media, they also left it in the hallway. Now, right now you're probably thinking to yourself, oh come on Philosophossum, you're just pulling our legs. There's no way these people just left a biohazard in a public space. Oh yes they did. Yep, that's right. These guys took a pizza that 19 different people ejaculated on and just left it out in a public space, where any number of things could have happened. You know, a hotel staff member not knowing what it is could have picked it up with their bare hands and gotten an STD. A kid could have come across this pizza and have been tempted to eat it, because, you know, kids don't always think things all the way through. It's very much possible that a kid could have been walking down the hallway, stumbled upon this pizza and thought, oh boy, free pizza, without thinking, you know, why it could have possibly been there or what could have possibly happened to it. Someone could have just been straight up desperate enough to eat this pizza. I've been going to conventions half my life, and I've seen it all the time. Someone will blow through all their money at the vendors' tables on day one of the convention, and then have no way to get anything to eat the rest of the time. They may very well have stumbled upon this pizza in the hallway and have been desperate and hungry enough to actually eat it. And once this guy started getting backlash from social media for what he did, he started to do damage control by saying, I only left the pizza in the hallway long enough to take a picture of it. But we know that's false because there's multiple pictures of this pizza uploaded by multiple users at multiple times. So this pizza was very clearly in that hallway for an extended period of time. Nobody really knows specifically for how long, but given the timeline of the tweet uploads of the different pictures of the pizza, most people estimate it to be about 3 hours. Now, of course, there were some people actually calling this behavior out. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes. Real American Heroes. Today, we salute you, Mr. Furry calling out the Jizz Pizza on social media. Mr. Furry calling out the Jizz Pizza on social media. So yes, while there were some people who had the spine and the common sense to actually call this behavior out, they are unfortunately in the minority here. Most people were defending and even encouraging this, saying it's funny. This guy gained a whole boost of followers and publicity from doing this. He was practically rewarded for it. And you know what? Here's the thing. Ordinarily, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't give a shit. Ordinarily, I'd just write this off as another one of those crazy things that happens at furry conventions. Another interesting story to circulate around the fandom, like Rainforest 2015. I wouldn't care, I wouldn't be angry, I wouldn't even be making a video about it. Here's why this shit pisses me off, and the reason I'm making this video. Right now, supposedly, the furry fandom is very concerned about public health. If you've been on furry Twitter over the past few years, you'll readily notice that there is no shortage of people bashing people who don't want to wear masks, bashing people who don't want to take the vaccine, bitching about small meetups and gatherings being super spreader events. And I don't mean like having a productive, civilized debate where there's discourse between differing opinions. No, I mean straight up bashing. I might make a separate video discussing this, but COVID fearmongers are hands down easily the single most obnoxious people there are. And I'm not exaggerating, they're actually worse than SJWs. For example, back during Halloween of 2020, a group of friends and I were planning a Halloween party in New Jersey because, who wants to sit at home during Halloween night? And, we were trying to be careful about it. We limited the size of the group to less than 20 people. I believe that was the CDC recommendation at the time. We were also wiping everything down, wearing masks, social distancing, all that stuff. And in spite of all of that, there were still people on Twitter bitching about it. But that's not even the worst of it. The worst example of the furry Twitter mob harassing and shaming people because of COVID happened around the time of Midwest Fur Fest. Midwest Fur Fest is a furry convention in Rosemont, Illinois, near Chicago. Now, in 2020, they announced that they would be canceling because of the pandemic, and because of this, a bunch of people in the Rosemont area decided to host an event of their own. So these guys got together, they rented out about 5 hotel rooms to have this event, and they were just going to meet up and chill and have some fun. And holy shit, people on Twitter were furious. You'd swear these people were meeting up to sacrifice children to Satan or something. These people were insulting them, calling them every nasty name in the book, wishing illness and death upon them, because what? They wanted to have a little bit of fun and not hide in their room all day? Like, these people were straight up forming a lynch mob. They were trying to track these people down, leak their personal information, get them banned from every convention across the country permanently, because this small 5 hotel room gathering was just going to pose way too much of a risk to people's health. Like, how dare these people even consider the possibility of doing this? So it really makes all this anger and concern over public health seem disingenuous when people leave a biohazard in a hallway at a convention and none of these people say anything about it. Now, I've talked about this before on my channel, how COVID is being blown out of proportion. The people primarily being affected by COVID are 60 and older, and most people in the furry fandom are in the 20 to 30 age range. But regardless of what your opinion is on how deadly or dangerous COVID is, it's definitely inconsistent for all these people to be concerned about public health when it comes to COVID, and not give a rat's ass when 19 different people leave whatever STDs they might have in a public place or someone might inadvertently touch it or eat it or whatever. Because the kind of people who do weird sexual shit at convention room parties are probably the kind of people who are going to have STDs. And that shit fucks you up way worse than COVID. I'll take COVID over an STD any day. Just to highlight how hypocritical and inconsistent this is, imagine what the reaction would be if these people left a COVID pizza in the hallway. Let's say that this genius went on Twitter and said, hey, if you're COVID positive, come on down to my room party. We're going to cough and sneeze on a pizza and leave a COVID covered pizza in the hallway. How do you think that would have gone down? There's not a chance in hell people would have thought that was funny. People would want their heads on a pike. People would be shaming them, how dare you put others at risk. They'd be on a witch hunt trying to find the identities of every single person involved in this party. They'd be calling for them to be permanently banned from every convention across the country till the end of time. It just kind of goes to show how these people really don't care about public health. When people go around shaming others because they're not wearing a mask or taking the vaccine, it's not because of health. These people don't give a shit about public health. It's virtue signaling. It's them believing that they're better than everyone else. That's all it is. Now, as for BLFC, well, they didn't really do anything about this. These people not only did something that endangers the health of attendees, but they also directly jeopardize the convention itself. Convention attendees who misbehave can often ruin things for everybody because the venue may decide that they don't want to host the convention anymore. It's happened before. So since these people directly jeopardize the future of the convention, you think that BLFC would be all over this. Nope. None of these people were banned or faced any consequences from BLFC whatsoever. People have been banned from conventions for things they've said on social media years ago, but this doesn't even get an investigation. And BLFC had some of the strictest COVID restrictions of any convention. They even required masks under the fursuit head. Imagine being someone who wasn't able to attend the convention because you were allergic to the vaccine or had a respiratory condition where you couldn't wear a mask. How pissed off would you be if you found out that these people left a biohazard in a hallway and got off scot-free, but you had to be excluded from the convention because allowing you to come would just pose too much of a public health risk. So bottom line, if you're one of the people who was calling this behavior out, first of all, I thank you. You're a sane, rational person, and I wish there were more of you in the fandom. But if you're one of the people defending this or encouraging this, I don't want to hear one more goddamn word out of your fucking mouth about how horribly selfish people are for not wanting to wear a mask or take the vaccine. Until next time, this has been Philosophossum making stupidity play dead. Take care.